Hello and welcome back to the YouTube channel for Catch. My name is Sam and I'm the founder and lead coach here at Catch. Unshakable confidence is the key to getting everything that you want in life and dating. And I smile because if you've seen any of our videos, you know that's our kind of catchphrase, but it still makes me smile every time I say that because it is just so powerful. Anyway, so on this channel we talk about everything to do with confidence, mindset and how to utilise that in all areas of your life with a real focus on dating and relationships. So in this video we're going to be answering another question that we get quite a lot, which is where does confidence come from and can confidence be learned? And we did a video very recently called What Does Being Confident Mean? And we'll link that in the description box below because we go into a bit more detail about the definition of confidence and therefore what it is, what it isn't, and what it looks like. But what confidence really boils down to is your level of belief, your belief and trust in yourself and your capability to achieve what you want out of life, and your belief in others and the world around you to support you in that and enable you to get what you want. So when we talk about, or when we get asked where does confidence come from, it comes down to the beliefs that we have about who we are, so our identity and how we see ourselves and our role in the world and how we define ourselves, you know, what we're good at, what we're not good at, what we are capable of doing, what we aren't capable of doing, who we are in relation to other people, how we're treated by others, and also the beliefs that we have about, and therefore the assumptions that we have about the world around us and how it works. And to give an example, if we're thinking about dating and relationships, we did a video a while ago called All Men Are Afraid of Commitment, and that was a very purposeful video where we were tackling some of the beliefs or negative or limiting beliefs that we see in the world of dating and relationships. And if we think about it from a confidence standpoint, or in terms of our beliefs and our identity and how we see ourselves, when someone says all men are afraid of commitment, what they're really saying is, in my life, in my experience, either with myself or my immediate friends and family, I've met men who are afraid of commitment, and that's been my predominant experience, and therefore I've created this belief that men don't want commitment, and therefore my assumption is when I meet new men that maybe I'm interested in a romantic way, that they are not interested in commitment, at least with me. And what's interesting is that whenever I hear those kinds of limiting beliefs from people, and I say to them, okay, well, if all men are afraid of commitment, do you know anyone who's in a committed relationship, any men who are with someone or married? And they all say, yes, well, I know several. Okay, well, do you know anyone in a happy marriage or been with someone for several years and very committed to them? Oh, yes, I do. So it's not that there's not examples out there of men who are interested in commitment and want commitment. It's just that how some of those individuals see themselves is, well, I've struggled to get commitment, therefore other people or the men that I've interacted with haven't wanted commitment with me, therefore all men must be afraid of commitment. And that's why when we talk about confidence, it's having that self-belief, but you also have to make positive assumptions that you are going to get what you want, and that is from other people and the world around you. And therefore how you identify and the beliefs you have, and therefore the assumptions you make about the world around you are all interlinked, and how you see yourself and the beliefs you hold create the assumptions that you make and create your perception and how you see the world around you. And we do have a diagram for this. So I'll see if I can either put that in the description box below or put this somewhere in the video so you can see how your level of confidence in your identity and your beliefs then results in what you assume, how you perceive things, and how you show up in the world, and how you interpret situations going on around you is really a reflection of your level of confidence. Because someone who is extremely confident about a situation will not be concerned if the circumstances are not entirely favourable. They will just believe they're going to get what they want. So in terms of the question, can confidence be learned? The answer is yes. And if we look at where confidence comes from, how we see ourselves, our identity, our beliefs, and therefore our assumptions, those are all things that we can choose and decide for them to be different and work on changing those elements. So let's say we're very confident in terms of our social life and meeting new people, but we feel less confident in terms of interviews. And therefore, for a job interview, what's happened in the past is that you felt more nervous and anxious in the run-up to an interview, and then going into the interview, you haven't been the same bubbly self that maybe you are, and confident self that you are with your friends and family in a social aspect. What's probably going on there is you identify yourself as, I am someone who's not good at interviews. I am not successful in interviews. I freeze up in interviews. That's how you identify, and you might have some beliefs that you don't show up as your best self in interviews, you get anxious, interviews are hard, the interviewers are trying to trick you, there's lots of competition for roles, and therefore you have to be perfect in an interview to get the job that you want. Or you may have doubts or fears about your level of capability in work generally and the value that you bring, and therefore it brings up fear and doubt or lack of belief around those interviews. So to change that outcome and build your confidence, it's about shifting those beliefs, so starting to identify and see yourself as someone who can be good at interviews, that people around you want you to succeed in interviews. The interviewer wants people to be successful in the interview and to do well. They're not trying to trick you. They want you to show your best self. And very deliberately starting to build those beliefs, and therefore how you see yourself as someone in an interview. And maybe using the fact that you're very good socially to be able to say, okay, well, I'm very good at getting people to like me in social situations. I know I have the skills. How can I bring those into an interview? Or you might start to build your confidence through practice. So you build your belief that you can be good at interviews through practice, learning things online with interview tips, practicing with friends, to then support you to create that belief that you're good at interviews. And you keep on doing that until you feel more confident. And once you have that confidence, the interviews will be 10 times better. So just to summarize, where does confidence come from? Well, it's how we identify and our beliefs, which therefore impact our assumptions, how we see the world, and how we show up in it. But the great news about that is we can work on all those things. So we can learn it, and there's always opportunity to do that, however difficult it's been in the past, or whatever negative experiences you might have had previously. What it takes though is the self-awareness to understand how confident or unconfident am I around a certain area in life, and inquire internally as to what are the beliefs that are holding me back. Am I seeing myself in a negative light or with a limited perspective? Or am I making negative assumptions and letting fear and doubt get in the way? And once you can dissect what beliefs might be getting in the way, then you can start to shift those and build your confidence. And actually we have 2 digital products, both of which are linked below, digital workbooks. One of them is the most common beliefs that we see that get in the way of people becoming confident and then getting everything that they want out of life. because there's certain what we call core beliefs that underpin most of the fear, doubt, anxiety, or limiting beliefs that we see. So if you work on those few beliefs first, it often unlocks most of what's getting in the way of you getting what you want. And then we also have another workbook on how to shift how you see yourself, how to shift how you identify and how you see yourself in the world around you, and how to deliberately start to shift that to build your confidence. So if you're interested in those, both super reasonably priced and our links in the description box below if you need some hands-on help. And then once we've got that self-awareness or understand what beliefs or parts of our identity or assumptions are getting in the way, it's about choosing something different for ourselves and then continuing to build that belief and move in that direction, even if we've had different experiences in the past. And what can be helpful here is using external examples that support the belief that you're trying to put in place. So for example, with that interview scenario that we gave, have there been interviews in the past that you have been good at? Or maybe it was one bad experience that disrupted your confidence there, and therefore what can you learn from the interviews that did go well? Or are there other people who are very good at interviews? What do they do, and what beliefs do they hold, so you can start to build those beliefs and put in place their tools and techniques to improve the confidence that you have going into interviews. And sometimes people that we speak to struggle with this, and they go, well, taking another example, throughout my whole life I've always found that people don't want commitment with me, or dating's really difficult, or there's loads of competition for jobs. That might have been your objective experience in the past, but for us to change our beliefs and our assumptions, we have to look past the experience that we've had, and often it's the negative experiences that stick in our mind. So we have to look past that and think, well, are there people out there in the world that have had a different experience? And if so, what differentiates them from me? Okay, well, it's the level of self-belief that they have. So whatever the situation is, what are the beliefs that they hold? What have they done? And can you do something similar to build your confidence? Because ultimately, we're the only ones who are responsible for our lives. We are the leader in our lives. And what do good leaders do? They set a vision for something being different in their lives or in the world, and they keep choosing that again and again, and they believe, okay, I know that I can grow this area of the business, I know I can make the startup a success, I know that I can have a healthy relationship even though maybe my parents didn't and I haven't had the best role models. They decide and see something in their future that maybe they haven't had in the past, and they deliberately visualize themselves in that scenario, see themselves as the person that can have that outcome, and keep on building their confidence, their belief, and their skills to achieve that goal. So yes, confidence is our beliefs and our identity and how we see ourselves. It can be learned, but it takes the self-awareness and the leadership in your own life to believe that you can have something different. And once you do that and start moving in that direction, there's nothing that can stop you. So we'd love to hear below if there's any ways that you've built your confidence, that questions that you have about building your confidence, areas that you want to build your confidence and you're not sure where to start. Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for liking, sharing, commenting and subscribing, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks, bye.